Yeah. Hi, folks. Again, this is Georgie from the community AKISC. So here with us today is Mr. Rhitankar Roy. He's a strong core member for our community. He's a real giver when it comes to helping the new folks who are coming abroad and helping them in different troubling situations they're facing, and he's the right guy to go to in giving that mentorship when it comes to those different difficult questions which he has again faced, and would be able to really able to help you guys on the journey down the line. So again, Roy, maybe let us start off with that short introduction of yours, where you have come from, what you have done so far, and what you're currently doing, and from there let's start off.
Sure thing. So my journey in the UK it's been a while. So basically, I started off with my bachelor's. I came from Kolkata. I did my uni there. I did my education there, high school, and then bachelor's. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, Coventry University. So I was actually did that in one of the sister school in Singapore. It's called PSB Academy. So I finished it off there, and my dissertation was quite well received. It got published in several journals, and Coventry University gave me the option to come here on a visa. They also sponsored me for the first term of masters. So that I did my masters in automotive engineering in Coventry University. Soon onwards, I heard about the master's placement program. I can talk about that a little bit in the later on session. What is it about? And then in my internship position, I got this role with Eaton. It's a power management company. It also doing very much on intelligent solutions these days. So I'm managing. I did my internship, and then Eaton was quite impressed with what I did, and I have a full-time role with them in a graduate role. So I'm looking after OPEX. I'm also doing project management. I will be traveling to Netherlands for one of the projects very soon. And on the side, I'm still doing a part-time PhD, still with Coventry University. So yeah, so still going on. So I'm technically still a student. But yeah, that's a little bit about me, and I'm looking forward to this session today.
Wonderful. I think that was a great story. So now I think let's start off with that first question itself. So regarding the internship and how did you go through, and maybe let's start off with that particular phase.
Absolutely. So when I first came here, I wasn't quite aware of what the master placement program is, and I only got it through a flyer that I saw in the uni. And basically, the master's placement program is that more or less every master's here in the UK is about a year in duration. What the master placement program does is that you basically have to go out on yourself, apply for different positions in different companies for internship roles, and they allow you to go for 1 year, gather work experience, and then come back and do your dissertation, right? So first semester you start off, you do your first semester, you do your second semester. This is in your second semester is where I would say get very serious about your CV, your resume, how to prep for interviews, and start applying in career sessions. So you have LinkedIn, you got Indeed. Also, several universities, they have their own career webpage. Go over there, there's a lot of placement opportunities. If you just search placement in the search criteria, a lot of opportunities will come up, and try applying everywhere. Try sending your CV everywhere you can. And that's basically what I did. So I looked into companies that were hiring internationals. I looked into companies that weren't hiring internationals. One good thing about the placement is it doesn't necessarily need to have placement opportunities in terms of like they don't need to sponsor you. So you don't need to be sponsored, so you're free to apply anywhere. Um, Work with the university so that you make sure that you can develop your CV quite nicely. Apply with that. Once you get through the first round, you will be asked for doing situational judgment tests. You will be asked to do an interview. But you always remember that your university also has a career hub section. Reach out to them, ask them how you can develop your skills. They will help you with mock exams and mock interview scenarios. And that is what I did for my uni for Coventry. And that helped me moving forward in my career with the internship. Um, I highly suggest you going for this role. Um, there will be some paperwork regarding your visa, but that is covered by the university. You will be paid a good salary, but more than enough to have a good lifestyle and everything, pay your rent, pay your food. But I think it's very important because you get work experience in the UK. And if you do good, same company is going to hire you for a full-time role. So your chances of getting hired increases like twofold. So that's a bit about the master's placement program or the internship placement program. Doesn't necessarily have to be for your master's, it can be for your undergraduate as well. And in undergraduate, you can actually do it for like 2 or 3 years as well. So it's quite a good opportunity for everyone. Highly suggest for everyone to apply and look into it if they are coming to the UK.
Sure. So this is an interesting question specifically for you. So you have done your bachelor's in mechanical engineering and then your master's in automotive engineering. And I believe you would be in the rare category where you are even after your graduation, master graduation, you're working in that core sector. We are seeing people going abroad, specifically in the technology front, specifically in maybe it would be software engineering or it would be data science, business analytics, and so on. So how do you see the scope in that core subject, in that core industry in UK that you have worked so far? So what are the career opportunities that you are seeing currently? And maybe some guidance on that to the future folks.
So absolutely. So in general, if I speak very generally, the scope for the technological, for the STEM sessions is a lot higher. A lot of the national students, they go for finance marketing. So I would say if you're in finance, you might face a bit more competition. But regardless of what I'm about to say, it doesn't really matter about which background of education you have. What matters is what the skill set you can bring, right? And the networking. So these are the two most important things. So whenever I have spoken to students from India, one thing that I did suggest them is that diversify your portfolio. Now, what do I mean by that is that don't put your eggs in one basket. So obviously, when I did my master's in automotive engineering, it was a very technical side of things. But at the end of the day, I was like, what are companies looking for? I started off with a very basic Google search, and basically what the companies today are looking for is that what you can bring to the table. What skills can you bring to the table? Soft skills, hard skills, technical skills. These are the most important things over there. Having the technical role, fine. I can understand engineering, but how are my skill set when it comes to project management? How is my skill set when it comes to data analysis? So what I started doing was that besides my master's education I was doing, every weekend I started doing extra courses from like Coursera or EDX. Or you can get free online courses from a lot of different websites. And you can also get certificates. So for example, Google Project Management, they'll actually give you Google issued certification. IBM does the same for data analytics, and you can get badges, and you can actually write that in your resume because it's considered more or less like a college level education. So when I submit my resume to a company, they say, okay, fine, master's in automotive engineering, good GPA, a lot of projects done, paper has been published. And then they come to this session and they say, okay, he's done more than his master's. He has done, certification in these courses. He has knowledge on this topic. Now your value has kind of like doubled up. So you not only have your master's and knowledge over there, it has kind of improved and made you better than every other applicant as well because you have extra skill sets. This is something I tell the students is that when you're applying for universities, when you're applying for jobs, do not limit yourself to certain roles. So I could have just searched automotive graduate roles. That is limiting my search criteria. Search for everything, apply for everything. I was looking into project management roles. I was looking into data analytics role. I was looking into obviously automotive, but also general mechanical engineering graduate roles. So I kind of kept my search options open. You got to keep in mind that, okay, you're already an international student, right? So that kind of limits your search criteria already, right? So you're competing not only against other international students, but you're also competing against the national students as well, and the university students that you're pretty much sitting right beside in classes, right? So if you limit yourself to only searching just the graduate position that you have been studying for, you're already kind of like digging a hole, right? You can get a job. I'm not saying you can't, but it is good to not put your eggs in one basket. Keep it open. Keep applying to different scenarios, different areas. Even if you don't have any background in finance, apply, because you might have the mathematical knowledge for it. The company might look at you as that, okay, this guy can probably doesn't know about finance, but he can probably create finance models, or he can assist the people in creating something. You can have a background in software engineering, but you're applying to HSBC, maybe let's say, and you are saying that I can develop the software for you. I might not have the financial skills for it, but I can help you develop the finance software that you need. So that's how you need to be unique on the way of thinking on how you can think outside the box, present your skill set, and apply. That is what makes you different. The more different you are, the better. So I would suggest that's a bit of the job application. tries doing that for a lot of students.
Got it. So another question would be, so while going out to the market and searching for your first job, we all get this advice that be relevant for your industry, and being relevant means putting your right skills on your resume and acquiring those skills and then putting it out there. That's one step towards achieving that goal. A second step I've heard is the power of networking and the power of building those connections, which would be really coming handy when the time is right. So we as international students, again, it's a new environment for us coming out in UK and then exploring. Again, I've seen like 100% of us, or maybe 90% of us, won't be that extroverted enough to go out there and then present yourself out there, go into that session. So I am talking about the remaining the remaining 90% out there who might be ambiverted or introverted and maybe figuring it difficult to put yourself out there. So what are the different suggestions that you can give, or what are the different I would say tips that you can give for our folks in improving our networking, whether it may be offline or online, in your university or outside?
So I can understand, there's this big fear among students, first time coming to a different country, and that is already like you're taking a huge step in your life. You've been with your family, like they have been doing your finance, they've been doing your clothes, they've been doing your food, whatever, and then it comes to this point where you're like this new land, you don't know anyone. How are you going to get used to it, right? And I get the sounding of like familiarity. Look, a lot of students ask me, are there any Indian restaurants out there? Are there any shops out there that I can join, like eat from and everything? And I understand it's uncomfortable coming to a new land, but regardless if you're an extrovert or an introvert, uncomfortableness is the thing that is going to push you forward, right? For like someone who's not as extroverted and is introverted, I would suggest like do it in your safe space, right? But make sure you're doing at least 5% of your day in doing something that can help you improve your networking skills, your soft skills. And it could be just listening to LinkedIn videos, it could be just listening to YouTube videos, but you can do it at your own time without having to do anything in the public or putting yourself out there. You will have to at one point, but it's a good way to start off. Even if you can, there are a lot of opportunities for the students there, because the universities will have these guest speaking talks, they will have networking opportunities, they will have career auditions and job fairs. Even if you don't speak or interact, go there and sit and listen to others. That way you will be able to understand how different perspectives, how different culture works, what they're looking for in the job market today, and that will kind of give you an idea on what skill sets you can develop. Keeping on going there, making a forcing yourself to get there is already a huge step. Sitting there is another huge step, and then there will be coming a point when someone who's sitting beside you might ask you something, and you will be talking with them. That is how you push yourself slowly, but at the same time it will help you actually kind of interact with others, get their knowledge, get their feedback, get their understanding of things. One more thing, fine, if you don't feel like interacting at all, like I said, try doing online courses, try doing soft skill development courses. You can do it from online, so you don't have to actually interact with anyone. You can have it one-to-one with one mentor or one session. So that way it is completely in front of you. You can do it in your own pace at your own time. So you can always do that. For the extroverts, I know you guys love going out, you guys love presenting yourself, so that wouldn't be an issue, but network with the right people is what is important. Often at times I've seen students, they are extroverted, but they mix with the wrong category of people and who wouldn't actually help in their career. Make sure you go out, talk with the right professors, see if they can put you through networking opportunities, see if you can join a few classes where you can practice public speaking. There's a lot of opportunities out there for you, but make sure you mix with the right people. Also, one more thing I would highly suggest, regardless extrovert or introverted, is like a lot of companies, they have this small competition for students. For example, RS Components, they're a big manufacturing company. They have these scenarios where they allow students to present their work, or there are competitions that you can make a team, develop something and present it, and they will actually sponsor you for it. So this again is once again a very good opportunity for you to present your skill set, develop external networking opportunities, and you can also use that to apply for jobs in the future. So you can actually mention in your resume, winner of 2022 RS component building something, and those are few things you can just Google and search what competitions are taking place for students by different companies. This also helps you in developing those opportunities for networking. So yeah, it is uncomfortable. It is never easy, but you need to learn what works best for you and how you can put yourself out there.
All right. So this is a question slightly different from the route. So you have been working in this particular profession, I think, a couple of years right now, and there is this part of taxation and tax filings, specifically in UK, and how is that legal side of things required? So that is the only thing that I currently know, but as a employee working in UK for this long year. So can you take us through what are the legal side of the employment, what are the requirements, and also the tax filings and the taxation things?
So post graduation, if you get a job, there's two options. You either get it as a sponsored visa, which is tier 2, which is called the skilled worker visa, or it's the new one which you can get is a post study work visa. For tier 2, if you're sponsored, you don't really have to worry about anything. The company pays for your visa. All you have to do is to make an appointment with the British embassy. You have to go there, give your biometrics, and they will take all your data and they will give your biometric BRP card, which is the residency permit, within a few weeks' time, right? That's all taken care of by the company that you're working for. Post-study work visa, very again simple, but this time instead of the company paying for your visa, you get this extension of staying in the country for 2 years. You have to pay your own medical insurance and you have to pay the visa fees. Once again, go online, make an appointment with the council, submit all the documents that is needed, and they will just process it. So in terms of staying in the country, that's very simple. Medical insurance for your visa is either once again covered by the company or paid by yourself if it's for post-study work visa. So visa-wise, very simple. In terms of tax filing, I personally never had to do anything. So it's very simple. When you join a job, you have this option, you can sign up for pension. So basically what happens is that certain amount from your salary gets deducted and is gone to a pension plan, so that after your retirement, you get the pension money back. So it's actually given back to you with a certain interest. You actually make more than what you're supposed to get. But that's over the year. Once you're 65, you're going to get that. So a long time waiting. You have to have the patience for it, but you get a lot back. The other thing is that, yeah, you will be deducted a bit on your national insurance tax. Salary tax is all obviously there. More or less, whatever gross salary you're about to make, your net salary is going to get around 400 to 500 pounds less. But a lot of it is based upon the fact it's going for your pension, it's going for your social service tax, it's going for your national insurance tax. But naturally, they're just taken out from your salary when you're getting paid. You don't really have to file for anything until and unless you're assigned to a different country. That is when the whole tax filing system comes in. But then again, your company lawyers are going to look into it. So technically, I don't have to worry about those things. Most of the time, your company does everything for you, and they are supposed to do it legally. As legally, they're supposed to represent you for all of this. Until and unless you're starting your own business, you don't actually have to worry about it. So it's very simple. Yeah.
Again, traveling back to your journey. So you have completed your master's, and you mentioned during the start of this conversation that you are right now looking for a part-time PhD, and you are currently pursuing that. So can you share some thoughts on that? Why did you go for that particular journey, and then how are you doing there? What was the process like? How is it going right now?
So yeah, the part-time PhD was completely a personal choice. I just believe that so when I joined my job, first few weeks, and I identified a gap, and then I tried researching on my own, can this problem be solved? I'm not going to talk about the topic because obviously I'm researching on it right now, but it's a factory problem, and I realized, is there a way we can solve this? I could not find any research. So I started talking with one of my old professors. He said that it's a very good topic. If you'd like, you can apply for the PhD position. And I said, I have to do it part-time if I want to do it, because I really think there could be good development in this scenario. Once again, completely a personal choice. I even asked a few people from my industry whether I should continue with this, and they said it's completely up to you. It's a very huge achievement if you can get it. I'm not going to say that the PhD is going to boost your career completely, where okay, you get a PhD, you become executive the next day. It's not going to happen. Everything takes its time, but yeah, it will help your career in the long run, especially since ours is a manufacturing company, and your thing can help our company a lot as well. So obviously, it's going to take it into account. The PhD application is, again, it depends on which university you're applying to. Go on their webpage, see what roles they have available for you. Um, if there's sponsorship, they will mention that for you. Or if you have an idea of your own, you can also submit it. So I started off writing a statement of purpose, what I wanted to do, what I have done so far, um, the thesis topic. So I identified a few professors that I can work with. I contacted them. I said, can I please have a meeting with you? Um, kind of tried explaining my idea. This is my idea. This is what I want to cover. This is what I want to achieve. And they were happy with it. They asked me to apply for it. So I wrote a document on why I want to do this again. What is the current gap of the research? What I want to achieve. Then I had to sit for an interview with the doctoral college. And once it got accepted, I was given a letter of, that I can continue with the research. So it basically sounds like a master's application, same thing, but you actually have to sit through an interview. Since I have my Tier 2 skilled worker visa, I don't have to worry about staying in the country. I can actually do this completely online. I don't actually have to go for any classes or any sort. I can do classes at my own pace when I want to. Some certain scenarios for your PhD is that you need to cover 300 developmental hours, so it can be through training or teaching someone else, or actually you taking classes with someone. There's a lot of different opportunities you can do. I've been doing my courses from Coursera, so I've been learning about Python, I've been learning about machine learning, things I can apply for my PhD. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work. I get about 5 hours of sleep a day. And on top of that, I'm still able to maintain my full-time job. I still go to the gym. When I come home at night, I study for the PhD. Putting in 2 hours for a part-time is more than enough. 7 days a week, 14 hours is fine. You can do it. But yeah, it is possible. Once again, very much a personal choice. But I think if you do want to achieve things in life, you just have to put in hard work. So it's as simple as that. But yeah, that was the whole process with the PhD.
Right. So next question would be, so I've been speaking with a lot of international students, and one of the major challenges that they're facing is the part of rejection. So I've heard that people are getting rejected from 100 companies, 150 companies, and then maybe at the end of the day, then they are selected for maybe one job or 2 jobs and so on. And that 100 rejections that they are getting, right from sending their resumes to the filtration process, rejections and final interview rejections and so on. So that's a really tough time that they are going through. So any suggestions to cope with such situations? You might also have gone through that particular phase. Any support ideas that you can give to the community?
Absolutely. It's a common thing. It's not just happening to you. So you got to remember in mind, if you're getting rejections and someone or the other is getting a job, trust me, that other person probably got another 100 rejections as well. It is what it is today. When I was applying for jobs, it wasn't easy. I was coming home, I was applying to at least 10 to 15 jobs a day. So I used to go on Indeed or LinkedIn, even monster.com. I think I went a couple times. Glassdoor, of course, and then I also went to the career webpage of our university, and I just used to open the page up and apply to any company that I see. You have to be desperate, right? You have to be desperate at this point. You have to put in the hours, but don't be negated by the fact if you get rejected. Take it as a learning point, because I can clearly tell you I got rejected by around 150 to 170 companies that I applied for. Out of which I got 5 companies that got back with me. 3 of them pushed me more than my first round. Then those same 3 companies I think I had interviews with, only 2 companies got back with me and 1 company ended up signing me. So you can see the filtration process on how it goes. I didn't have 10, 20 options with me. That too, after saying that, I'm saying this even after I was one of the top 5 students in my uni, had a very good high GPA, first class honors, had external knowledge, working with the company, had also certification from other courses, but even then they treat you more or less